it's tomorrow, and if the rates go up, or it might be tonight that they'll mention it, then that will be a nice. That might have a major impact depending if it goes half point or a quarter point.
Yeah. All right. Great. So, yeah, welcome everyone. Basically, today we're gonna talk about something really great, a great project. Also, it's people from our group that joined the group that are working on the project. So, it's a great opportunity to hear about that. They are launching really soon. So, Emmanuel, I'll let you maybe just start the meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much, Bryce. Yes, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. So basically, today we have Tijad and his team. They're gonna present to us an opportunity, a project that they've been working on, and they are planning to go public soon. Yeah, looking at the project, they're gonna tell us a little bit more about it. But looking at the project, it's really, to my opinion, it really has a good potential in terms of the future and like the interest of investors and the users. So yeah, I think this is a great opportunity, and like we can here get a little bit more details from them, and from there we can like definitely see how we can benefit from this. But yeah, other than that, I'm just gonna give the platform to Tijas to go ahead and tell us a little bit more about the project.
Hey, hi all. Actually, I have Darshan and Syed. They are my colleagues. Darshan is my founder, and he's going to,
Yeah,
take this forward.
I'm gonna take over from here, guys. So, by the way, good evening to everybody. Good morning if you guys, if anybody comes from my part of the world. Okay. So I'm Darshan. I'm based out of Bangalore, India. So we have been a team working on a lot of managed services work for so many of our clients. And currently, what we do is like we have been into the staffing and the recruitment and the placement related work for the last couple of years and slightly more than that. Okay. Most of us come from the same kind of work for years together, and I have been an entrepreneur for at least more than a decade as of now. So Aromi is my project at the moment, and my team members Tejas and also Syed, it's their baby as well. So what we have been doing with Aromi is that Aromi is going to be a product or a platform which is going to cater to a lot of supply and demand challenges within the semiconductor industry. So the semiconductor industry, where the whole number of opportunities and the number of profiles or the number of resources that are going to be there, they are in scarce, and there is no one single platform, which can cater to these kind of supply and demand. When I say supply and demand, if we actually boil down to the everyday terms, it's pure pure providing this resources where it is needed. For example, I mean, there are so many positions in many of the organizations, okay, which are supposed to be filled by the placement agencies, okay, and that is the work that we actually do. In fact, we have already gone about building this business, and we are now adapting the technology, okay. There are many ways to look at it. A lot of product organizations, they build the product, they go to the market, okay, and then they do the experimentation with the kind of marketing, with the kind of product development and innovation. What we have done, or where we actually stand in terms of an advantage position, is that we have already built the business here, okay. What we are trying to do is like the business that is being built is going in a very linear way, and we want to actually go in an exponential growth manner. So the exponential growth only comes with the adaptation of technology, and technology we are now going to be adapting into that. And that is where, okay, now that the business is built, the product is going to be developed, and while we adapt the technology, we want to make use of blockchain, as well as we want to make use of AI, to make sure that all the functionalities and all the objectives that we want to meet with the with the technology adoption happens. Okay, so Aromi is going to be a portal where people who are interested in getting a job, or who are seeking a job, can come over. They can onboard themselves, and also customers or the organizations who are having the job to offer it to candidates. Okay, they can also onboard themselves, which is the demand side of things. Okay, the AI and the blockchain engine, what it does is it does a lot of, I mean, it runs a lot of algorithms, and it does smart matching, wherein the opportunities and the resources can meet, and then it's a win-win situation for the candidates because they can get the jobs. It's a win-win situation for the customers because they can actually close the positions with the right resource or the right talent that it is needed. And it's a win situation for the person who has actually brought them together. That is going to be Aromi. Okay, on this particular platform, every transaction that happens, like for example, I want to onboard myself. Okay, then there is some kind of a usage of ARM tokens. Okay, I want to onboard myself as a profile. There is a usage or exchange of ARM tokens. And me as a customer, I want to onboard myself, search for some profiles. Yes, I shed out certain number of ARM tokens to get that kind of a service. If I am a stakeholder who is having a learning and development product, or if I am a stakeholder who is actually giving a service of, let's say, a background verification check. Okay, all of these transactions and all of these services are going to be offered and obtained by the exchange of ARM tokens. So invariably, what happens is, if there are about 100,000 users on my platform, all these 100,000 users are going to be exchanging the ARM tokens to either to offer their services or to obtain the service from someone else. Okay, what this does is this always keeps my token in circulation. Okay, so this is a way of making sure that the kind of price what I'm actually expecting, or what we are expecting for the token to hold on for a longer duration of time, it is always supported by a legitimate business that is happening on the back end, and not just because of the sentiments of the exchange or sentiments of the investors, which is propagating the change in price. So in a span of 8 minutes, this is the best way of concising my entire project and presenting it to you guys. So I hope I was trying to be as clear as possible. So I'll just I'll let you guys ask any questions, and if there is anything unclear about what I have said, please do let me know.
Yeah, thank you very much, Darshan. Guys, if you have any questions, you can post them in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself. But firstly, just to make sure I understand this clearly, so Aromi is like a recruitment or like a job searching website on the blockchain.
Sorry, repeat that question again, please.
So Aromi, is it like a job searching website?
Yes, yes,
Like
exactly.
on the
So
block.
it's very similar. It's going to be very similar to a job searching website. Like it could be a Dice in the US, like a Dice in the US, or probably a Stepstone in Europe, or a Naukri or a Monster in Asia.
Yeah, so like Indeed or Glassdoor in Canada.
Yeah, exactly,
Right?
exactly. So
Yeah,
the only place where it's going to carve out its niche is that we are going to be catering to very specifically the semiconductor industry. Okay, because this is where we feel that, okay, we have been working with the semiconductor industry customers. I mean, our customers are in the range of Intel, Samsung, Marvell Semiconductors, Analog Devices, okay, Espressif, and many others. Okay, we see that there is no one single product or a portal which is catering to this semiconductor industry, and this is where the talent is also very scarce. I mean, take my example. I myself is an electronic engineer from the number one university in the state where I come from. Okay, but I never got into the semiconductor development stream. Rather, I actually moved away from it. Okay, there are very few people who actually get into the semiconductor stream. Okay, most of the times people whom you come across, like with 10 or 15 years of experience in the semiconductor industry, 50% of them would have actually taken up that as a choice of career just because they did not find anything else. Okay, and they have just got deeper into that particular domain. So a lot of people, when they get the chance, they actually move away from the semiconductor industry because the kind of career growth is very slow in that, but it is very rewarding only after you have spent about 12 or 15 years in that particular field. So so the talent pool is very scarce, and also not many organizations or not many entrepreneurs can afford to build a semiconductor industry or an organization. So you see a lot of IT organizations coming up, you see a lot of small product organizations coming up, but not really a semiconductor industry or organization, because the kind of investment that is needed for it is huge. So as a result, there is demand, which is also quite less, and there is talent pool, which is also quite less. So making them meet is a very niche in its own way, and there is no portal which actually, or a product which actually caters to this very sector alone.
Okay. Alan has his hand up. You can unmute yourself.
Have you done reviewed the market for this type of service, and if so, how large is it, and then what is the growth rate per year that you estimate for that market? You mentioned that you have a very limited supply of people. Will that also affect then the ability to get into that market?
Okay, sure. See, if I'll just go region by region and give you a little bit of a comparison in terms of numbers. Okay, these are numbers which actually dates back to 2020 research. Okay, see, apparently the overall number of semiconductor industry profiles or semiconductor industry professionals who are available in Asia, okay, is about 200,000 people. Okay, or much lesser than that. Okay, where I mean, India alone has about 80,000 engineers. Okay, but the kind of jobs that are there, which are getting job changes, the hand changes. Okay, the number of positions that get opened up in a year versus the number of profiles who are actually being floated out in the market. Okay, it is in the range of 1:2. Okay. So what is happening is, for every job that is being opened up in the market, there is only less than half of the profiles that are actually available to fill up that particular thing. So what we have done so far is, like, in a span of slightly more than 2 years of operations, we have gone about accumulating slightly more than 200,000 profiles. Okay, across different geographies. Okay, Asia, India. In fact, a lot of our profiles are also from the US, and quite a bit from the European region as well, and have managed to build our own database of supply, which is the professionals data, which is slightly in excess of 200,000. So the moment we actually go live with our platform, we are already having 200,000 plus of profiles onboarding, probably in a span of less than a month. Okay, so what this does is, this is the number of people by default are going to be having their wallets created through our portal, and all of these people will be holding certain amount of ARM coins from day one of their journey with Aromi. Okay, this is one side of the story as an answer to Mr. Alan Luxon. So on the other side, there is a huge spend that is happening. Okay, in the semiconductor industry, there is necessity for large computing power, and that directly translates into that directly translates into powerful hardware that needs to be released into the market. What this does is, along with the hardware cost, there is also a lot of resource cost that actually takes in. It directly translates to the number of jobs that gets opened up in the market. Okay, this is the kind of market what we want to actually capture, and the trend has actually shown that there is actually in excess of billions of dollars that is being spent on a year on year. And what this does is, a large portion of this billions of dollars gets translated into the number of jobs that gets opened up on a year on year basis. So even though the number of jobs and the number of profiles are scarce in the market, but the number of jobs that are being opened up in the market has never been in scarce. Okay, it's just that people are moving from one place to another. I mean, it's a small community. Okay, a lot of people, when they move from one organization to another organization, they tend to also take their teammates along with them. So the community gets moved from one place to another, and but the number within that community remains the same.
How do I invest? How would an investor invest into that?
Sorry, I did not understand the question, please.
Well, if I'm an investor, how would I invest into something like this?
How would I invest in? I mean, Arumi is probably your vehicle to invest in it. I mean, what we are doing is, like, we are going to be introducing the ARM coins or ARM tokens into the market, which will basically be a translation of the sentiments of this particular attrition or the movement from one place to another. Okay, so this is the vehicle of investment. Or is there any other aspect that you were actually looking for, Mr. Allen?
No, that's yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how I would make a profit on something like that. I have to then rely on the coin itself going up in value with increased demand for your portal usage, and but I'm just trying to think of if I were to do a calculation, would I'd have to, like, how much of that coin will be traded, or like how liquid is the investment itself? Like, who do I sell to?
See, what we have. I mean, maybe if I just talk about the tokenomics, you could probably get a better picture of what we are talking about. See, currently what we have done is we have gone about having 100 million tokens. Okay, 100 million ARMs. Okay, so this supply will be the maximum circulating supply at any given point in time. Okay, we don't have any plans of burning on one side. Okay, and on the other side, we don't have any plans of increasing the circulating supply from 100,000 to anything more than that. Okay, so what this does is, we have very carefully designed this particular 100,000 number. Okay, because there is significant amount of users who are going to be bartering the ARM tokens on our platform. Okay, so what this does is the tokens will always be in circulation. The tokens will always be in the mode of selling and buying and exchanging hands, changing from one wallet to another, and all these things. Okay, by introducing some kind of a better staking program, and locking the wallets with different programs. Okay, what we are trying to do is we are trying to induce the demand into the supply. Okay, which will basically keep the price of the token intact, or to a desired number what the organization decides to do. Okay, this is how we plan to control the performance of the token in the exchange.
Perfect. Yeah, Andre has a hand up, and then Bryce. If we can start with Audrey, I think.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Darshan, for your time today. I guess can you have you already decided on which blockchain you're going to use as the for this? And I guess the second piece of that question is yeah, there's obviously non-blockchain based solutions out there today. Has there been any like sort of feasibility study associated with like the additional costs associated with using a blockchain for this application? Mainly, you mentioned the token. So every time a token is transferred or something is needs to be recorded on the blockchain, fees will be incurred. So I wonder what impact that could have on you being able to compete with the Indeeds or Dices of the world.
Okay, sure. The first part of your question was, the answer to that is our coins are being, prepared on BEP20, Binance Smart Chain, and 20% of our circulating supply has been done on, Zenith Exchange or Zenith blockchain. Okay. We have been in partnership with Zenith for a lot of reasons. Okay. In fact, we are now in talks with Zenith to conduct our IEO on Zenith. Okay, making use of Zenith as a launchpad. Our coin is based on both. Our token is based on both Binance as well as on Zenith. Okay. The second thing is the only concern in that regard is going to be whenever there is an exchange that is happening from one hand to another, one wallet to another. How are we going to be managing the kind of gas fee that it incurs? Okay, because for a small this thing. So the kind of product what we want to have is going to act as a second fiddle to any exchange, okay, any listing exchanges, and it's going to hold the tokens under separate wallets, okay, within a separate database. Only at the point of executing such a transaction in to realize those tokens into some kind of a fiat currency, or probably exchange of ARMs into probably a Litecoin or any other coin. Only then, okay, it's going to hit the actual exchange, and then it incurs a gas fee for transaction. Apart from that, okay, we are going to be having a pseudo wallet in our product itself, which will take care of the balance, which will take care of the accounts of these exchanges within the product, for the transaction that happens on the product. Okay, so in that way, we are going to be avoiding gas fee for any of the small exchanges, but only when it actually has to hit or get exchanged with a different coin or get exchanged into a fiat currency. Then it hits the listing exchange and incurs a gas fee. I mean, did I answer your question, Andrew?
You did. Thanks for that. I guess where I was getting at there is what extra value does using or leveraging the blockchain give your
Okay. See, what extra? Currently in the recruitment field or in the area of operations where we want to introduce blockchain, I mean, there is no blockchain used elsewhere. Okay. The kind of, blockchain's regular or out of the box advantages are going to be introduced into the recruitment. I mean, it increases the security, it increases transparency. I mean, the smart contracts. Okay, it increases the the traceability of these kind of profiles, and every other aspect of every other aspect of the data that get exchanged from one place to another. With the introduction of the smart contract, right, what it happens is certain number of basic details are going to be checked and verified. Okay, this allows us with the possibility of automation sometime later. Okay, a profile has to go through from the point of onboarding, the profile has to go through the point of selection, background check, etc., etc. All these things are being manually done, and there is huge amount of manual intervention at every stage, from the point of creating a profile, creating yours and my CV or a resume, to the point of our CV is being pursued, and we obtain a job in one of the organizations. Okay, all these manual interventions we don't know yet. Okay, many of these manual intervention points can be automated directly. Okay, only thing that requires is a common denominator to a lot of data that we enter into these particular thing. And this is one of the problems what the smart contracts is going to solve for us. Okay, it's an area which is yet to be explored. Okay, because this is a highly manually intervened section of the product. But definitely it's going to help us in terms of being the first or the first entrance into the market with this kind of a capability. Only thing is it requires us to be prepared when automation comes into the picture in the market. Okay, and at the end of the day, all these efforts will only increase our efficiency and also the speed in terms of our operations.
Thank-
Thanks, Art. Bryce, you have a question?
Yeah, actually, my question was like really close to what Andre asked, right? Because basically, just looking at, yeah, just like everything you said in terms of having it on the blockchain, me too, I cannot really see like the advantage of it. I just find that maybe it might actually create more issues with like fees and all. But one main thing I would like to add to the question is that Andre also asked about Indeed, right? So we know that currently for recruitment, people are using Indeed, LinkedIn, Facebook. And the thing is that they already have processes in place. It's totally centralized, but I would like to know how you try to compete with them. Basically, what's your strategy around it?
Okay. See, I think in one of my earlier questions, I just answered that we are going to be doing this exclusively for the semiconductor industry. Okay, because today, it could be the Indeed, it could be the Dice, it could be the Monster, it could be anything. It is there for everybody. Okay, what this has done is it has become like a portal a portal or a job searching area where anybody and everybody could get on. Okay, what we are doing is we are carving out a niche, and we are catering it only for the semiconductor industry. What this helps is the kind of socialization capability that we can bring into the portal. Okay, is going to be very specific. There is going to be innovations that's going to be discussed, there's going to be opportunities that's going to be discussed, and a lot of technology related topics it's going to be discussed. Okay, all these things will only increase the intensity of the domain expertise on the particular portal. If you take a look at LinkedIn today, all types of businesses are there. Okay, if you take a look at Facebook, right from entertainment to kids work, kids related stuff. Okay, there is also job related things that are happening on Facebook. Okay, and if you take a look at Monster, there's job opportunity for every sector, be it an IT, non-IT. Okay, be it semiconductor, everywhere. So what we have realized in the last 2 years, or slightly more than that, working only in the semiconductor industry, is like we are not being able to find even one single profile. Okay, in in India's largest database, which is Naukri. Okay, we have actually experienced the same thing. Okay, where we are not been able to find good profiles in Dice, which is for US. Okay, we have not been able to find good number of semiconductor industry profiles in Monster. Okay, so this is where we are going to be just made available for the semiconductor industry. Okay, with the whole area of social effects of opportunities, discussion, reviews, the community that we are going to be building, the kind of blogs that are going to be written on this. Okay, this is how we want to just position ourselves, very much specific to the semicon industry.
Okay. Yeah, that's really great, to be honest. But maybe also another question that would come with that would be, how are you gonna make sure the people who are in the semiconductor industry get to you or know about you so that they can come search and build their and create their profile on your website other than going on the other ones?
See, we are going to take a very organic approach here, and we are going to market ourselves really, really well, because the business is already there. The knowledge of how to do what is already there within the team. Okay,
Mhm.
it is just that we are taking advantage of a technology presence or a product presence to increase the kind of top line and the bottom line that we are achieving as of today. Okay, so all the investments and every bit of money that we are going to be raising, okay, is going to be spent only on the product development and the marketing, because um, because operations is already being set up. The operations should not be eating up the kind of investments that we are actually going to be raising. Okay,
Mhm.
we're going to be a pure product company, where as a very typical product company, only product development and marketing will consume all our investments. So this is how we are going to be helping ourselves become the next monsters of the world.
Amazing. All right. The time is going pretty fast, but if anyone else has any other question, you can just unmute yourself or post it. But before that, maybe if we can talk a little bit more about the financials. So,
Okay.
how much is your company trying to raise, and what would be like your soft cap and hard cap, and
Mhm.
what's the plan in reaching those goals?
Okay. Okay. See, we just finished a small round of private sale. Okay, where our coins was actually sold at 25 cents a token. Okay, 25 cents a unit a month ago. In fact, our ICO starts today with a price per token of 50 cents. Okay. This being said, we have the intentions of actually raising anything in excess of 1.5 million before we get onto the exchange. The reason why we want to have that is because with 1.5 million, we can cover most part of our product development. Okay, and then once it actually goes to the exchange, definitely with 100,000 as our maximum circulating supply, I mean, the sky is the limit in terms of what we could actually gain from the exchange part of it. But the initial product development will start once we have at least a minimum of 1.5 million.
Okay, so to understand this clearly, does that mean your soft cap, in order for the project to even be successful, you need a soft cap of 1.5 million, and what would be the hard cap?
You see, not really. I mean, this will only help us to kickstart the product development. Okay, but once you have a product, you need to have the kind of support that is needed from a backend to make sure that it is running in full fledged, forever. And that's definitely going to be anywhere in excess of 10 million.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I hope that was pretty explanatory to everyone.
Mhm.
Otherwise, yeah, if anyone has any other question, you can just post them in the group. Thank you very much again, Darshan, for the time and
Always
sharing
pleasure.
this with us. I don't know if you have any like Telegram group or any
Yes,
Discord thing.
we actually have a Telegram group with the handles at Aromi Official. We actually have built a huge 200,000 plus community across Telegram, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, and Reddit. I would strongly recommend all of you to reach out to our website to basically explore more details about it. The white paper has gained a lot of traction in terms of its simplicity and also in terms of its completeness for the whole concept note and other things. So I mean, to everybody in this particular meeting, I strongly recommend you reach out to the website and get the best of it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you don't mind just sharing the Telegram link in the chat, that would be great. I just can't find it busy right now. But other than that, guys, thank you very much for your time again today. The website is has just been shared in the chat. If you have any other questions or you want to get some more clarification in regard to one of the points that we talked about today, you can definitely reach out to Darshan or the team. He just shared the Telegram group, Twitter, and everything. So yeah, a lot of contact is in there. We're gonna share this in the Telegram chat as well. So yes, guys, thanks very much again for the time. Really appreciate you for coming to this evening. Thanks again, Darshan. Thanks everyone for your participation again.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you very much for providing a platform like this. And all your questions. In case if you have actually missed out on any questions, I've just posted my email ID as well in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to me on that.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.